What is up, everybody? Happy Monday, if there is such a thing. Excited to be live here with y'all to break down all of the Holo Icon legendary moments that are coming through in our drop on Thursday. We'll also be revealing some metallic gold limited edition moments that will be a part of this drop as well. It's a big day for Top Shot, big week for Top Shot. Last Holo Icon drop of the year. Couldn't be more excited to be joined today by Josh Hart, the OG NBA Top Shot NBA player collector. Josh, how's it going, man? Good to have you.
What's up, my guy? Everything is good, man. I can't complain.
You eating some Twizzlers there? Did I see some Twizzlers there?
Hey, you know it. You know it. Chat, I just want to put this out there. Jacob said Twizzlers were the worst candy ever made. So I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm going to let y'all do what y'all do, but the very hot take.
Slight hyperbole, good and plenty worse candy. Twizzlers, bottom tier candy, in my opinion, but apologies, everyone. Before we jump into it, Josh, how's your summer going? Obviously, it's a big summer for you. How's your hand recovering? I understand you're in Miami right now. How's that all going?
Yeah, man. So everything is really good. Thumbs recovering really well. I'm at that point where I don't even have to have a sling on it. When I'm just hanging out or for even playing basketball, I don't have to have a sling or a tape job on or anything like that. So that's good. And then besides that, Miami's Miami. You gotta love Miami. So no complaints there. I'm just living my best life.
Love it. So, Josh, as you know, Holo Icon dropping Thursday. It's going to be the second to last legendary drop of Series 2. But what I wanted to do today, and really appreciative of you taking the time out of your day to join us, is kind of go over all of the moments that are going to be a part of the Holo Icon 3 drop, reveal them, talk about them a little bit, and talk about the great seasons that some of these players had in their way to making these moments that will live on the blockchain forever. So without further ado, we're going to break this down into categories. We've got a handful of them, 5 categories to be exact. The first category, we're going to break down some of the rising stars who are a part of this drop. Then we're going to talk about players that had breakout years. Then we're going to talk about rookies. Obviously, we got some high-profile rookies in this drop. We got some all-stars, and then the earnable moments that might be rewards, they might be quest prizes. We'll have to kind of keep you all posted on those, but very excited to break down all of it. All right, so without further ado, I think it's time to jump right into it. We've got the rising stars. We've got 8 of them to be exact. And the first one we're going to start with is this legendary buzzer beater from Fred VanVleet. JP in the studio, let's play the clip.
Wait, what was the time on the clock when he first got that? I've actually never seen this shot before.
That's a great question. I think it had to have been like 0.3, 0.4.
Yeah,
that's quick, man.
That's absolutely epic. With the jerseys too. Those are like one of like the top 3 best jerseys in the league.
Let's play it again just for the jerseys so the community can get a sense of what Josh is talking about.
Yeah, man.
These are the Drake ones, right?
Yeah, the OVO ones, the all black with like the kind of like the raptor claws on the side. Those are so elite.
I like it. And this is coincidentally Fred's second buzzer beater heave of the series on Top Shot. There's another Fred VanVleet heave. So this one's the legendary version, and you don't want to miss it. Let's move ahead. De'Aaron Fox, another rising star point guard. This one just kind of putting the sauce on Brad Beal.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy because for some reason, and especially on these live streams, the Pelicans use like the butt of the joke, and he gave us 40 twice. So I was really like, when I saw De'Aaron, I was like, oh shoot, it's on us. So I'm actually very happy that that is not on the Pelicans.
Now, De'Aaron's the type of guy, and obviously Sacramento, a team on the rise, but De'Aaron's the type of guy that you can watch him play any given night, and he could be the best player on the floor. What do you think it will take for him to kind of jump into this all-star class, given how loaded the Western Conference is at point guard?
No, that's a tough one. Like, because I was gonna say his jump shot, but this past season he improved that, dramatically, and now he's someone who's you can't really play off like that because he has the ability to knock it down. So if he, gets that even, a little bit better, it's gonna be good. Obviously, he's in SAC, so it's a little bit of a small market, and whenever you're in a smaller market, it's sometimes harder for you to get those fan votes and all that stuff. But he's top tier, and he'll be an all-star very soon.
Heard it here first, folks. Moving along, we've got Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. He's actually going to be on NBA Top Shot this live tomorrow night with Karis LeVert. Jaren Jackson only played 11 games this season. This was his season high of 23. And you talk about unicorns. This guy is a true 3-and-D big.
Yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, he wasn't the healthiest this season. But he's one of those guys, especially for them, when he's healthy, like everything just goes well for them. I remember last year, I think he got hurt a little bit towards the kind of late stretch, and we were just like, okay, we might be able to catch Memphis now, because when he's in there was no catching us. So he's one of those guys, just a hell of a talent, and it's just he helps contribute to winning.
Yeah, I think you look around the league, there are so many of these great scoring bigs at this point that he's a guy that kind of complements any team super well.
Oh, yeah.
Just how well he defends the rim, and he can space the floor. That's kind of like the holy grail. You're looking for those guys for years. Kristaps Porzingis was kind of like the poster child of the guy that fulfilled that role. But Jaren Jackson, of course, coming in strong with Memphis. And next season, he only played 11 games this year. Next season, I think Memphis is going to be a problem if he stays healthy.
Sure.
All right, moving ahead, we've got Malcolm Brogdon, one of my favorite players in the league for all that he stands for and how well he plays the game. This is him hitting a clutch game winner in overtime.
Yeah. Actually, he's one of those guys where you even if you don't like him, you respect him. And I'm not sure why you wouldn't like him. It's because he's such a talent, and he works hard. Great dude, great personality, very well spoken. I mean, he'll go out there and get you 28 and play good defense. He's good on any team. He's one of those guys you can put on any team and he'll be good.
Josh, I don't want to blow too much smoke your way, but when you got drafted and when he got drafted, I felt like there was a commonality with both of you where you did pretty much everything that you could do in college. And for whatever reason, maybe it was you were coming into the league a little older for whatever reason, got dismissed a little bit in the draft cycle. And I think Malcolm and you have both proven, no, if you're a star in college, you should get a lot more consideration in the pros.
Yeah. It's now it's just all about potential. That's the biggest thing. It's he has potential. But a lot of those guys, a majority of those guys that have the crazy potential, they don't really pan out. So, I mean, that's I'm just kind of, I can look at some good guys that were in my draft class that were one and done that just didn't pan out just for whatever reason. Maybe if it was injury or whatever, but someone who played 3-4 years in college, did everything, I think they should definitely kind of be held in a little bit of a higher light, especially right now, just because what you're going to get from them. So I guess I'm a little biased.
No, I mean, it bears out in success in the pros, and Brogdon obviously had his best year with Indiana. Surely Milwaukee's missing him these days. Moving ahead, we've got an SGA moment, just continuing the theme of star point guards from around the league.
Hey, oh my God. Yo, is that Josh Okogie?
It looks like a Josh
Did he
Okogie
go out of
break.
bounds? Did he end up out of bounds? Hey, uh, oh my bad. You don't really see many times where a guy like when you catch someone and they like somewhat either fall or just get caught, and it's like they just go like 10, 15. That's like probably like 25 feet, but like that's at least I'm not on the end of that one. I'll say that.
So when it comes to SGA, he's kind of got one of these games that like it's hard to pinpoint what exactly makes him a star, but it's undeniable if you watch him once, twice, 3 times. This guy just has something about him that's impossible to contain. From your experience, either defending him and obviously not getting your ankles broken like this, but like what have you experienced when you've been on the court with him that's maybe you kind of take notice?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he's good. He obviously has like the length. He's athletic, but like you said, he doesn't have like one thing where he just wows you in. He's just good and like he's good and solid in everyone. Jump shot obviously good. He's really he doesn't get rushed. I'll say that he's really good on. He's composed. He goes at his own speed. He's able to finish at the rim with both hands. So he's like one of those things where like he's not going to sit there and you're just going to be like, wow, this guy is, like top tier or whatever. But you're going to sit there and be like, yo, this guy is good. And then you're going to look at his stat sheet and he has 25 and 7 assists, 4 or 5 rebounds, and he's going to do it all. So he's one of those dudes that's like he's going to be good, especially in OKC where they're giving him like the keys. He's going to be good.
His cousin, of course, a teammate of yours in New Orleans with Mccollum.
Yeah, man, my guy, he just made the Canadian national team, man. So he's going to be out there in the Olympics. I'm happy for my guy.
So my SGA story is, as the dumb Knicks fan that I am, we drafted Frank the year before, and when it was our time to draft at 8, we ended up with Kevin Knox, but I was out on SGA just because I thought we already had an SGA on our team with Frank. And that's your annual reminder of Knicks fans
you're wrong
don't
about
know what
that
they want.
Yeah, I mean, hey. Nothing better in the league when you don't draft one guy that everyone wanted, and then you draft someone else, and then like a year or 2 later, you make a trade and give up a lot of stuff for the one guy you could have drafted, and then you like let him go. Hey man, hey, what do I know? But what do I know?
Yeah, that rings eerily true for the past few years with the Knicks. All right, moving ahead, we've got another rising star in the Washington Wizards, Rui Hachimora. If you know Rui, he is one of the most athletic wings, and he has poster ability.
Oh, good Lord. Who's that? Isaiah Stewart?
Isaiah Stewart, yeah, getting baptized into the league.
Yeah, he's gonna be good. Like especially when they keep Russ and Brad there. He's like he's an NBA player body. He's athletic. He has a good mid range. Obviously, is working on expanding that. But he's one of those guys that's just overall solid that can do whatever you ask him to do on the court. And then I mean he puts guys on the rim like that. After a while, this is gonna let him march to the rim because a lot of guys don't want to get dunked on.
Rui's just an interesting play. Obviously, the first Japanese-born player in the NBA, and needless to say, in the crypto world, Japan is a big market. So there is some kind of sense that Rui might bring a lot of crypto heads from Japan into Top Shot and vice versa, NBA fans into crypto through his presence on Top Shot. And this dunk on Isaiah Stewart, needless to say.
I'm about to say, there's nowhere better to go than get some of these NFTs for them, and they're sitting pretty.
That's right. All right, moving ahead, we've got 2 more from this section, and they are 2 heavy hitters. Michael Porter Jr. Unfortunately, the Nuggets got eliminated last night, but Porter cemented himself as a star this season, and not as known for his defense, but right here he shows it.
Yeah, no, it's actually like seeing stuff like that is actually good, especially for a young guy who's not known for your defense, just because I mean, it shows that you're going to do whatever. Like if you're going to sit there, trying to get a chase down block and someone's trying to dunk it, and you're not worried about getting dunked on, and you're just kind of like, all right, like I can go contest this one. Like it's good. So for him, and obviously it's good for him because he wasn't fully healthy in college, and then that was like a big reason why he dropped in the draft. And now you're starting to see him fully healthy, putting up 30s, 40s efficiently. And he's going to be, especially there with Jokic, and you got Jamal for sure going to be good next year. He's going to be, that team's going to be good too.
Do you think if Denver had Jamal for this series, they would have beaten Phoenix, or do you think the sweep was enough of a statement from Phoenix that this was their season to go to the conference?
Yeah, no, I don't think it would have been I don't think they would have beat them, but I don't think it would have been a sweep though, because obviously Jamal gives you that that ability to have a playmaker, with the ball in his hands. I feel like there was a lot of it on Jokic. But when you have him, who's an all-star, who's able to knock down shots, get guys involved, get the ball to the basket, and do that, you guys saw what he did in the bubble. So when you down that, it's tough. And then even on the flip side, he would have commanded, whether it was CP or one of those guys that guard him on that side of the ball. So that changes things. When you're running around with someone like Jamal, you get a little tired.
Right. Yeah, I mean, needless to say, another player from that same SGA draft that the Knicks passed on. So I digress there. But moving ahead to the last player from the Rising Star section, we've got RJ Barrett.
Oh, there you go. We got a Knick right there.
Someone we hit on correctly. And RJ bringing the pain here.
Yeah, no, he's going to be – I mean, what New York did this year was – like you knew they were going to be good, but you didn't know they were going to be 4 seed. You knew they would make the playoffs, but didn't know they were going to be the 4 seed. You have Tibbs, who was coach of the year this year, and they were good. And they're going to be so much better next year because you just know they're going to attract free agents. Uncle Leon over there is going to make some moves. So they're going to be good. And when New York is good, like the NBA is different, man. So when the Knicks are competing and they're in the playoffs, bro, basketball is at its best.
Josh, I think we have a little revisionist history here because the Knicks were slated to be the second to worst team in the NBA by the Vegas betting lines this season. So I certainly didn't know they'd be good. I was pleasantly surprised. And RJ kind of taking on a little bit of a hybrid between what Jimmy Butler did for Tibbs with the Bulls or Luol Deng did for the Bulls back in the day. He can shoot the three really well now, which was not something that he was able to do superiorly well as a rookie. I think the sky's the limit. He's a two-way player, really shows the effort on both sides. So future is bright, very excited. We got one more section before we get to the two that I'm most excited about. And all of these sections are obviously great, but this next section is specific to the guys that had breakout years. So very excited. We're going to start with a guy that if Julius Randle wasn't around, he very well may have been most improved player, and that's Christian Wood.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be good. It's actually funny because he's been in the league actually for several years, and going from team to team, but you knew once he fully put it together, he was going to be good. And something clicked when he was in Detroit last year, and then whatever switch he flipped, he did the right thing because he's a problem.
Yeah, I still don't know quite what went into Detroit's thought process to bring in 5, 6, 7 centers, one of which is not Christian Wood. But, I digress. Jeremy Grant proved to be a great pickup, and Isaiah Stewart's proven to be a good pick. So don't need to throw shade on Detroit, but Christian Wood was, sitting on the roster. Could have brought him back.
Yeah, it was an interesting thought process and very interesting thought process on that one.
Yeah, and Houston, meanwhile, got a hell of a deal. I think it's a 3-year, $42 million deal or something like that. That's a good value for the next 2 years. And Houston not necessarily trying to win right now, so we'll see what that looks like come next season. Let's move ahead for Christian Wood, current Houston big man. Now we're moving on to Clint Capela, former Houston big man, and Clint Capela, one of the top 5 centers in the NBA this year, and a strong case to be made for top 3. This moment came in a game in which he recorded a triple-double the old-fashioned big man way with 10 blocks.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where he was good in Houston, then went to Atlanta, and then a little bit last year. I'm not sure if it was. I don't remember. I don't know if it was health or what, but I was like, that one might not have worked out in Atlanta's favor. And then this year he was, like you said, a top 5 big in the league, being able to, finish at the rim, and then protect the rim like that. When you're able to protect the rim like that, for myself, a guard who likes to play defense, it gives you so much more confidence. Just because if I get beat on the ball, Clint's going to sit there and he's going to throw it. So it gives you so much more confidence as a wing defender to just kind of just play as aggressive as you want, just because he's going to protect the paint.
What I've noticed through the playoffs and can come to appreciate more now than ever is just how good of a coach Nate McMillan is, and the schematic approach he took. Because obviously the game plan going into the first round with the Knicks was let's try to find Trey, let's try to bully Trey. And what Clint Capela did was basically created a system in which you could not pick and roll to ISO on Trae Young, because you always have Clint just a few feet away to clean up any messes. So
exactly,
it's a perfect combo. Clint Capela, talk about a guy that's been blessed by great creators, from James Harden to Trae Young. Can't get much better than that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Moving along here, we've got another kind of career game. This was a career high from Darius Garland. He dropped 34. Darius Garland in year 2, really showed some signs of progress.
Yeah, he was one of. I feel like a lot of people were kind of questioning, why did they pick him? Because obviously they had Colin, the year before, I think it was, or 2 years before. But then you started to see this year, all right, now we know why they picked him. And what's Larry said? What did Larry coined the nickname Sexland or whatever it is.
That's right.
So something like that. Sexland. Oh,
Sexland, you got it.
Sexland, was it Sexland? All right. So yeah, that's Larry coined that phrase. But them two, that's gonna be a good backcourt for a while.
The thing about Darius was, coming out of Vanderbilt, I think he only played 6 or 7 games because he got hurt as a freshman. But in those 6 or 7 games, he shot 21 for 40 from 3-point land or something like that. So going into the draft, you're he can be a sharpshooter Steph or Dame, or he could be the primary creator. So, and between him and Colin Sexton, you've got 2 really great point guards that can both score, shoot, and pass. So
there was some chatter, I think, because I was going into my second year. There was some chatter the Lakers, I think we had the 4th pick. I think they either had him for some workouts, or that they were thinking about getting him because obviously he, like you said, shot the ball really well in college. So they're like, he's a shooter. So it's funny. It's funny how things go around.
Next moment we've got is a former teammate of yours, Josh.
Who's okay? I was going to say, do I like him? Yeah.
Got Kyle Kuzma. Big throwdown.
Put the Pumas on his feet. Who's that? Biombo? That's tough. That's the thing with him. Kuzma's athletic, 6'8" and athletic. You're gonna be good. I'm not sure about the hairstyle on this one. But the play is nice.
The Pete Davidson blonde, yeah. So, Josh, I want to reset the clock, and I might be speaking out of my element because I don't know for sure if you were on the court, but I think you were. There was that iconic Lonzo debut at Summer League. LeBron was in the crowd. He was with the Cavs, and Kuzma and Caruso seemed to steal the show. I think Lonzo still put up a triple-double, but what was your first reaction? Because obviously Kuzma, coming out of college, not super heavily touted. I think he went 27th or 28th in the draft. The first time you hit the court with him, were you impressed? Were you surprised? Were you, just run through the gambit of thoughts as you saw his game kind of progress from what you thought it was as a college kid?
Yeah, definitely surprised because obviously he had a good, he had a solid college career. I actually knew him a little bit in Utah. We met at and I think it was like an Under Armour camp or something like that. But he was good. But obviously the college game is so much different from the NBA. So once you start to see how he was able to use the spacing to his advantage, and do those kind of things, you knew he was going to be good. So when he first got saw that, you were pretty pleasantly surprised. Then obviously with he had a great connection with AC and Zoe, especially in that summer league, and that's when he really started to kind of make a name for himself.
Yeah, and this is obviously going to be a really big year for or a big offseason for the Lakers as they go back to the drawing board, and Kuzma's contract is one that I'm hearing people suggest might be one they could move if they wanted to kind of do some musical chairs and reshuffling. But Kyle Kuzma is not new to the trade rumor game. He has been in it since the day he was drafted. Funny comment from Top Shot Caller. Collector bonus, collect one of each of Kuzma moments with different hairstyles. I love it. This is a deep cut, but in NBA Live 1998 with Tim Hardaway Sr. on the cover of the game, played it on the old PC. You could play with the Chicago Bulls, and Michael Jordan was not part of the PA, so he was number 98 or something, and he was just the best player in the game. But you can play with those Bulls, and Dennis Rodman, every game you played, had a new hairstyle. So sometimes
that's actually hilarious.
I would play the game. I would see Dennis Rodman just with the bleached blonde, and I'm like, no, that's too boring. I'd quit, restart it, and he'd have the Spider-Man
something else.
It was a great, entertaining grade school Jacob move. Awesome. We got one more breakout year to cover, and this guy has been a star for a while, but this year he really cemented himself as a fringe all-star, if not before, career highs in shooting percentage and points per game. CJ McCollum just lives in the mid-range. This guy is very tough to stop.
Yeah, his mid-range is elite. I think I did a Top Shot stream on my account before, when I was opening up some packs, and I think it was when he was either a reward or he was I forgot. Or he was big into the moments of, I forgot what pack it was, but he was one of those dudes his top 5 mid range, probably top 3 mid range guys in the game, and he's one of those dudes analytically, I don't care what any analytical person says, bro, don't tell CJ McCollum that a mid range is not a good shot, bro. His mid range is so elite, and he has his own wine, so he's good in my book.
When it comes to that top 3, I'm gonna let's do this little segment here. Obviously, Chris Paul comes to mind as an elite mid-range guy. Demar, yeah, there are so many to choose from. I obviously don't want to let you leave someone hanging, but if you have to do a top 3, the holy grail of who the best mid-range guys are today, and you can just let's reframe it so it's not the best, but you're playing defense. Who are the last 3 guys you want to see on the other end?
In terms of mid-range game, it's probably going to be, for me, CJ, DeMar, and Chris Middleton. I honestly, I hate Chris. I don't hate Chris Middleton, but I hate guarding Chris Middleton because he's one of those guys where it's he loves tough shots. He thrives when he has to shoot a tough shot. So it's no matter how good defense I play on him, I'm gonna force him into some contested fadeaway, turnaround mid range, and he's gonna cash it. He's one of those guys. So it's those 3 probably have the best, at least mid range, for sure right now.
Well, appreciate you answering the question, because that's one you can easily plead the fifth on, and no one would hold it against you. But question. We've got the rookies, though. Time for the rookie chatter. A big rookie debut, or the debut as a legendary for James Wiseman. This moment came from his career high when he scored 25 points. And the guy can really get up there, as you can see here. Did you face off against Wiseman at all this year? I know he got hurt.
I wasn't able to. He's one of the guys you heard about. You knew he was going to be good. Kind of bummed that we weren't able to play him because for some reason we played Golden State, only played Golden State literally at the end of the year. So that was kind of sucked. But he's a talent and he's going to be in the league for a long time.
James Wiseman, of course, a Memphis kid, Memphis product, played sparingly at Memphis. But, I think when you look at the Warriors' path to contention, it hinges on two things. Number one, James Wiseman becoming the star that they anticipate he'll be at number two, or a team valuing James Wiseman as a star and trying to make a win now move to.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how he plays with Steph and Clay, fully healthy. I'm kind of interested in that. So I think that would kind of depend on how he is, or how the Warriors are going to be. He's a good, tough talent, but if he doesn't fit with them, don't be surprised if his name's on that trade block come what's it called, trade deadline season.
Yeah, well, maybe even sooner as the summer unfolds. I'm sure we'll see a lot of movement. Now, from what I saw from James Wiseman, it's an incredibly raw and potential brimmed player that will be a problem in the right circumstances. So rooting for him. Let's move on to the next rookie here. We got Cole Anthony, an avid Top Shot collector himself, and he was hyped to see this game winner make it as a Holo Icon moment.
I remember this. Did he have an iconic interview after this one too, bro?
He sure did.
So I think he was one of those guys. I didn't get to play against him either because I think he was hurt the first time we played him. And then I was hurt and I wasn't able to play him at all. But he's gonna be a tough talent, and especially I actually remember this interview, and it was hilarious.
The thing about Cole Anthony is some players wait their whole career for game winners. Cole Anthony had 2 or 3 this year alone as a rookie. The guy has just he is on it, and he locks in at the end of games. We had Terrence Ross on for the Premium Pack Mint show a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him who the chattiest players in the league are, who are the biggest trash talkers. And he pointed to his teammate Cole first. He's like,
"Oh, really?
I think it's Cole and Draymond. Draymond and Cole are the top 2."
Oh, wow, that's big then, because Dre talks all game, every game, doesn't get tired.
Yeah, we're lobbying the league for a league pass subscription. Just Draymond mic'd up for 25 games a year. I'll sign up for that. Easy.
That's what you just need. You need some NBA Top Shot moments with Draymond just mic'd up. No matter what it is, you got to get the iconic free throw line, him flaming Paul Pierce. You got to put that at the Top Shot. It has to be there. It has to.
Has he ever talked trash to you?
Nah, not really. He's one of those guys where it's if you don't really talk to him too much, it's cool. So and I'm cool with him. So we don't we'll talk a little bit before a game or after a game, but during the game I'm kind of quiet. I don't really talk too much, at least to the other team, unless I really know him. So I haven't got flamed by him yet. So that's a good thing.
Good, yeah. You don't want to be the source of his anger. All right, moving ahead here, we got Saddiq Bey. Speaking of Villanova,
I'm a fan of this one.
Saddiq Bey, another classic example of NBA teams maybe taking.
Wasn't he 7 for 7 this game? I think
this was from a career high, 30 points, 12 rebounds. Part of one of those rare trades this late in the season, he was a part of a 3-team deal last draft night where all the players, Saddiq needless to say, the Pistons are not still in contention, but Luke Kennard went to the Clippers. They're still in contention.
Mm-hmm.
Landry Shamet went to the Nets. They're still in contention. And I think Sadiq Bey, I think we can all agree, is probably the most exciting of the three. So Detroit might be big winners here. You know, I don't know, Josh, if it rings familiar, but Villanova kid, excellent 3-and-D college prospect, and for whatever reason doesn't go in the, you know, or is a little slept on in the draft. And I'm not only talking about you, I'm also talking about Mikal. I'm also talking about Don. Like, it's just relentless. You guys need to get a little more credit coming out of the draft.
Yeah, man. For this, I'm actually really happy. Like, obviously, you know, Sadiq made it to the league, but obviously the success he's had, because he actually went to my high school. So when I think I was a senior, I think it was in like 8th grade, and like he'll try to like, we'll do some open gyms and he'll run with us and all that. And he was this small, skinny dude, but he had like that competitive kind of dog mentality. So you knew he was always going to be solid. But then the growth and then him getting stronger, came into. And now, I mean, obviously you see it all. He's 6'7", 220, 225, knockdown shooter, competitive. So I'm really happy for him that he made it to the league, but he's in a good spot like Detroit where he's able to just, hoop and develop.
Really reminds me of another guy in the league that had another big year, DeAndre Hunter. Just sturdy, big body wing that can shoot, can defend. I think the future is really bright for him, but maybe not quite as bright as this next guy. And that's no slight to Sadiq, but LaMelo is just on another planet with talent. And this is his only legendary moment.
That is so tough. That is so tough.
That's like he's playing 2K out there. It's just
madness. Bro. That's the thing with him. Like, you love it just because like he goes out there and he has fun. Like, he's competitive. He really genuinely enjoys the game and enjoys competing. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how you guys pick just one highlight for this moment to be like for his legendary moment. This pack could have been like 8 different moments. Like he could have his own pack of just moments, because he was like, you knew he was going to be a highlight, but some of the stuff he does is just crazy.
Yeah, so on that note, we do have a metallic gold LaMelo Ball moment that will not be in this upcoming release. It will be distributed at a later date via a mechanism or a method that is TBA. We don't have the answer today. But we've got 499 LaMelo Ball metallic gold moments. If you want to get a LaMelo Ball moment this week via pack, the Holo Icon is still your best bet, and that moment will be numbered to 99. You obviously have played with his brother for quite a while, and I think both of them share that kind of savant ability to just read the floor 2 steps ahead of the opposition. But, I think LaMelo may have taken a little bit more of LeVar's kind of moxie from childhood and shows that on the court with like unrelenting confidence no matter where he is.
Yeah, Zio's real chill, real cool, calm and collective. Doesn't talk too much. Melo's definitely the little more rambunctious one of the 3. But I guess that makes him, and he was always like that too. So it's just funny, and it's good to see, like, he's somewhere where he can be himself, he can play the game, and he can make mistakes. And it's I know the little bit of a problem early in the year with like some of his turnovers, but now it's like you saw what he can do, and so now it's like you just let him do that.
Yeah, I mean, this year, this draft class was not super highly touted coming out, but I think like between LaMelo and Ant and Halliburton, just like a loaded class left and right. So. That does it for the rookies, but moving ahead, now we're in the meat of the section. We've got a bunch of all-stars. We're just going to zip through these guys and community. You already know these guys are superstars and the real the most exciting guys in the league. And Devin Booker putting on a show, showing out in the playoffs, really having a breakout year here. And this is his legendary moment from Series 2, throwing it down. I should pause because it is possible he gets another legendary moment if they do make the finals. Like, let's pump the brakes there. And now that they're in the conference finals, can't rule it out. Josh.
That's so tough.
2 things. Devin Booker, obviously scored 70 points very early in his NBA career. Mm-hmm. Did you know that he was this good? Or did you think that he was a little bit of maybe empty calories, good stats, bad team guy?
Yeah, I thought he was a good stats, bad team guy for whatever. But now, like, he's showing like he can be that guy on a Western Conference final team. Like he showed a lot of people wrong, and he's a good dude too. So it's like you're happy to see him find the success. You're happy they were able to make the playoffs, and then him playing the way he's been playing in the playoffs is good to see. And he's one of those guys who, like, now that you see that, it's like you can't help but appreciate it.
And in this moment, if we'll play it again, breaking the ankles of your former teammate Kenrich Williams,
yeah, man,
who's really good player. I think he's been slept on a little bit, but Booker just a little too fast for him.
Yeah, man.
Josh, gonna toss it to you, put you on the hot seat here. Phoenix is in the Western Conference Finals. We'll have a much better idea after tonight of who might be meeting up with them. Who do you like to come out of the West right now? Just kind of on the spot. You haven't been prepped, but you got to give us an answer.
I think I'm gonna go with Utah. I think obviously it's gonna be that conference finals. If Brooklyn's not healthy, like, I think whoever wins that is gonna win it all. But I see Utah. I think Utah has a little bit better defensively. Obviously, you got the defensive player of the year with Brody, and then you got Royce, who I think could have been on an all defensive team this year. And then that team, the camaraderie that they have, they've been together for a long time. I think it's gonna be tough to beat them.
Yeah, I don't know even who I'm rooting for. I am rooting selfishly. I'm rooting for Utah just because I think the summer gets a little more interesting if it's not a guaranteed Kawhi returns to the Clippers.
Oh, that is definitely true.
Maybe my Knicks bias is showing there. Maybe I think there's like a 5% chance Kawhi crosses the country to join us, but won't get ahead of myself there. Let's move along. We got a Jimmy Butler moment. Jimmy, of course, solidifying himself this year as just, everything and more.
That guy. Yeah, he's one of the dudes, like, he's not like he's not gonna wow you in any like one thing, but he's just the ultimate competitor. So he's gonna make sure, like, he's gonna put his team in a position to win. So I think, if they were able to work that out in Philly, and he was on that team would be absurd right now. But he's one of the dudes you're just happy for, just because he's a competitor. He works hard, came from nothing, and he's having fun. As you can see, he's having fun.
What's crazy about Jimmy, and Josh, I hope you don't take this as a slight, but Jimmy's game for the first maybe 2 or 3 years of his NBA career was very similar to your game today, right? Like, very much embraced being the just pitbull on the court, grabbing boards, playing lockdown defense. And then for whatever happened, and it happened in Chicago, I guess, with just increased usage, he just kind of became a scorer kind of out of nowhere. And he always had it in him, I suppose. But, it goes to show, like, anyone on the court, and needless to say, someone like yourself that's had extreme success and multiple stops, like, any given night you could be the best player on the floor.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the thing. The thing about the NBA is, like, everyone is good. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I don't think fans fully understand that. Like, if you can go the 15th guy on the bench or someone on the two-way, you see him on pickup, like, bro, like, it's not even close. Like, you're going to see, like, it's not even close. So, yeah, you just – everyone can do it, and with someone like him, we're just happy for it.
We're going to move ahead to two former Toronto Raptors. Start with Demar Derozan, who hit this big game winner. You already identified him as one of the top three mid-range guys in the league.
His mid-range is so tough. And then he has an elite Kobe collection. So, I mean, those two together, yeah, he's good.
And DeMar, just another guy that, like, I don't think we fully appreciate how good a playmaker he is these days. Like 7 assists a game, more and more just trying to become a creator for his teammates. San Antonio, a very kind of interesting team, hodgepodge, unclear of what direction they're looking to go forward. Mm-hmm. But DeMar just, even in the anonymity of being the 10 seed in the West, just continues to get buckets. And, few guys around the league are as well liked as DeMar DeRozan. I have never heard anyone say anything bad about the guy.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. So it's gonna be interesting. I think the free agent this summer, so it's gonna be interesting. Interesting to see what happens with him, man. But he's still people have kind of written him off a little bit, but he can still go.
I mean, I'll just plug it. New York could use a scorer. We can use another scorer. We'll see if we can manifest it to happen. All right, moving ahead to the other former Raptor, another champion, with Serge Ibaka with the big block on JV. Raptors on Raptors, crime there.
And that's the thing. Like, when he went there, you knew, like, obviously he's getting a little bit older, but he could still protect the paint, and he's still one of the best top 5 bigs in the league in terms of blocking shots and just protecting the paint.
He also, to this day, I think has the most underrated dunk in the dunk contest history. He's the only guy I've ever seen take off clearly with his foot behind the line, not touching the line, clearly behind the line.
Yeah.
Threw it home and didn't even make the second round. It was as if we'd seen that every day. And Serge, if you're watching this, which you surely are not because you have better things to do, I guarantee you I appreciated that dunk because don't see it every day. Okay, moving along. Speaking of vicious dunks, we've got a cat dunk.
Big fella.
This guy just he can get up and look at that ankle breaker.
I don't really know what Vooch was going through Vooch's mind when he was doing this. I don't know what he was doing. But. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what to say because Vooch is out there doing ice skating, and then Cat is that Daniel Theis, whatever his name is.
Tice.
Yeah,
Tice and Levine both with business decisions.
I'm about to say a big business decision for that one because he looked like I'm not gonna get this one.
I mean, in fairness to Vooch, and you're right. Like, I don't know quite where the ice skating came in here as a tactic, but you got to get out on Towns. When we were streaming with him just a couple of weeks ago, he said he's the best shooter that he's ever practiced with, and you just look at the numbers, and there's no lies there because the guy can make a bucket from anywhere on the floor, and if you're Vooch, you are not necessarily the fleetest of foot on the perimeter. So got to get out there, and Cat just reads the D and gets ahead of it. Moving ahead, we got a Jalen Brown dunk. Jalen Brown, another breakout year, made the All-Star team, and he can get up.
Yeah, he wanted great two-way player. Unfortunately, got hurt this year, which obviously I think really derailed Boston's season. But they're good. Like, as long as they keep those two, obviously Tatum on the other side of the wing, able to keep those two and just be going, they're gonna be good. So that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the Celtics, and they're in a, if you were to simulate out where they were 2 years ago, let's say, with Tatum and Brown still on their rookie deals, they've had some injury bad luck. They've had some free agency bad luck. Now Brad Stevens, of course, moving to president of basketball operations. But they've got a existential question of, okay, we have our two foundational pieces. How do we surround these guys? And generally speaking, you have two elite two-way players. You've got the recipe to get started, but definitely a lot of questions ahead this summer for Boston.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving ahead here, going back to Josh's projected winner of the West, Mike Conley. And Mike Conley, of course, the player that had the first narrated moment on Top Shot. This one put in James Wiseman in the spin cycle and finishing with the right.
Yeah, man. I really hope, I would love for him to win because he's always was a hard worker. First time All-Star this year, and he's a nice guy. He's pretty good in COD too. Pretty good in Warzone. Just throwing that out there. Not as good as me, but I'm just throw that out there, Mike. But nah, man. I think they're gonna take it home if Brooklyn's not healthy. That's the big asterisk on that one.
Huge asterisk, and I think we're all aligned there. All right, moving ahead, we got a guy that you said top 3 hardest player to defend.
Watch it be a mid-range. Oh no, it's a dunk. Oh, okay, it's a dunk. All right.
Yeah, not the nicest to Daniel Tyson this set. We're showing off some of Boston or Chicago's foibles here.
Yeah, he's definitely not getting too much love, but. Yeah, he's a tough player. I think he's still underrated. Obviously, made an All-Star year last year, but I think he's just so underrated. He's able to defend, knock down shots, be a playmaker. He's one of my. I hate guarding him, but he's one of my favorite guys in the league. Just to watch. I don't think he gets enough credit.
Now, Josh, you maybe put some people on notice earlier when you said if Brooklyn is not healthy, you think that the winner is going to come out of the West. Do you think that the Bucks, knowing that Giannis is not necessarily the go-to guy at the end of games, and they're starting to kind of strategize toward Middleton and Drew there, do you think that Chris Middleton can be a go-to scorer on an NBA championship level team?
That's tough. I think so. He's someone who, sometimes he kind of, floats a little bit sometimes. So when you have someone like obviously Giannis, who does a lot of the heavy lifting, the first couple of quarters, and you have someone like Chris Middleton who can, help kind of close out games, and then with Drew, I think is good. So I think he can be, but he's one of those guys he's not going to carry you to it,
right?
But if you put him in a position, he can.
Yeah, very very fair points.
We got to give a big shout out to Drew too, man. First team all defensive team, man. So big shout out to him, man.
Your favorite player's favorite player, Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Super underrated, best perimeter defender in the league, and
hands down.
We got 2 more here. We got a Zach Levine. No shortage of guys that can throw it down, and Zach might be at the very top of the list of best dunkers in the NBA.
Yeah, he makes that just look so effortless, bro. I'd be so jealous.
Talk about floating. This guy floats.
Yeah, he floats. And then obviously got the 3-point game now. So it's you gotta close out to him all the way, and you risk that happening. You try to defend, you try to deny him from getting the dribble hand off, that happens. So, you gotta have to pick your poison with him.
I really want to see him in the playoffs, man. I think he's just so talented. If you're kind of creating a 2K player from script, this is the guy, right? Best dunker in the league, one of the best 3-point shooters, can create his own shot off the dribble. Just put that turbo boost on and he could blow by you. And we got one more all-star to cover before we get into our earnable moments. Your teammate, Zion, this moment came from his career high 39 points, 10 boards, 5 assists. And you don't want to be Zeke Naji here.
Nah, man, it's okay because he babied a lot of guys in the paint. So don't even worry about a young fella because he's so dominant. He's the most dominant guy in the league. So ain't much to say. Unfortunately, yeah, we lost his game, but you know, he had 39. What he does speaks for itself.
Now, when you're talking about guys from history, I don't think there's anyone that's quite like Zion. I think the easiest comps I could think of are like Charles Barkley, maybe Sean Kemp, if Sean Kemp played point guard, and kind of like early sophomore year Blake Griffin, maybe a little bit. But seeing I'd love to hear your thoughts as just his teammate.
Yeah, man. So beginning of the year, you thought it was just like, all right, just kind of put him in a good position, and he'll be able to just kind of destroy anybody in the paint. But then once we gave him the ball and let him like go out and dictate him and play make, that's when you really started to see how good he is and can be. Obviously, if he improves his jump shot a little more, and a little bit more, on the playmaking side, but he's so talented, so selfless. He's gonna be a problem, and it's tough to compare him to somebody. It's tough, man, because he's one of a kind.
That does it for the moments you can get in the packs, but we've still got 3 moments that you can earn that I think might be the heavy hitters from the set when all is said and done. JP in the studio would love to pull up this first one from Joel Embiid, forcing overtime in this moment, just showing the world what he can do. There's just running to the 3-point line like he's Steph Curry, hitting the tray, tying up the game, sending it to overtime. Sorry, Boyan.
Yeah, I think Boyan was just kind of clueless. Like, all right, why is he like he's sitting here posting up? Like, all right, let's see how this goes. And then you don't see big men do that, bro. He went from the post, took 2 dribbles, went out, fake shot. Like, you don't see that happening, bro. Like, that's not fair. It's just not.
So, I mean, you just mentioned Zion as the most unstoppable, and I think Joel Embiid's a guy that has a claim there as well, just because he really plays like a 90s center, right? 7'2", can back you down, has infinite post moves. Have you ever been switched on to him, like, and he is trying to like take you under the hoop? Is that something you've experienced?
I actually have not, and I'm not mad about it that I didn't. Yeah, because he's so good, with the back to the basket. Obviously has a great mid range, a very consistent 3-point shooter, but his ability and his knack to get to the free throw line is something that's great, and he's probably one of the best guys at drawing fouls in the league. So you have that. So with someone who's that talented but also that smart, able to get to his spots, and when you make a mistake, capitalize on it, it's tough. So he's definitely in that conversation.
2 more, then we'll let you out of here, Josh. We got Kevin Durant here, and needless to say, Slim Reaper needs to come through for Brooklyn without James and Kyrie. But if there's anyone in the league that can put up a 50 burger, I think KD's the guy. So I'm excited to see what Game 5 looks like.
Yeah, he's probably the most talented scorer that's ever played the game of basketball, man. He's so talented offensively. I'm actually kind of curious to see how he plays, next game, obviously with no James Harden, no Kyrie, but I mean, the things he's able to do is just 7 foot with guard skills is unguardable.
I want to play it one more time because you can see a glimmer here.
Yeah,
he's like, I got this one. Don't worry. KCP's on me. I could take him. Let's see it. Just killer crossover. Andre Drummond didn't know what hit him. I think the next frame is where we're going to see his face. Yeah,
I
got it.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry.
Oh. Man, I would pay too much money to have that talent for one play, just 1 minute of my life to just be able to do a crossover like that and throw it down. All right, last moment, arguably the most coveted in the entire Holo Icon set from this year. Josh, I know you remember this play.
Yeah, bro. I remember seeing this. I'm like, yo, what? Like, when it was happening, I'm like, yo, what in the world is going on, bro? And then that wasn't even the fact, like, he didn't just make it. Like, he didn't bank it in. He didn't do it. Like, it didn't even touch the rim. Like, it's just absurd. And I think that just, like, summarizes his game. It's just absurd. Like, he's just so good. And just, like, he shouldn't be able to make that shot, bro. Especially not even he didn't touch the rim, bro. It's absurd. Like that shit. Like that's good defense. If you make someone shoot that at the end of the game, you're happy. Like, but that's so depleting on the team.
Have you ever guarded a game when probably not as ridiculous as this one, but has there ever been a time where you're just like, you go home that night and you're just like, there's literally nothing I could have done better. It was the best I could have done.
Not game winner, but there's definitely been games where I go home like, hey, like, he had 50, but I'm like, hey, ain't nothing I could have done to stop that one. I don't know if Jesus was back on his third, if he would have been able to stop him. So I've had a couple of games like that. Luckily, I haven't been on the bad side of a game winner. And hopefully I'm not, but there are definitely moments where you're like, yeah, there ain't nothing stopping this guy.
Josh, you're a good sport. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate having you. And, hopefully you get some better candy than Twizzlers to round out your summer.
It's all right, man. Twizzlers and top. It's gonna be cake. We're going to have these. Then, like, under, it's going to be like NBA Top Shot. That's going to be 2022. Y'all going to see it, chat. Y'all going to see it. And it's going to be a big blow up of Jacob's head on it.
If I have anything to say about it, it'll be a chocolate candy of some sort. I'm open-minded, but Twizzlers don't quite do it for me. But Josh, appreciate you. Enjoy Miami. Hopefully we're able to link up at Summer League down the line. And, otherwise, wish you all the best. I know we actually have probably some more streams coming, so maybe I'll see you sooner
for sure,
than I even know.
Hey, I'll see you real soon, my guy.
Yes, sir. All right. Take care, man.